British Prime Minister has been talking at the Houses of Parliament, and Tim Friend is there. So, Tim, Abdel Hakim Belhaj, this revolutionary commander, was talking about wanting to sue over this rendition. What's David Cameron's response been to these latest allegations about rendition?
Well, he didn't respond to specific allegations, but he has acknowledged that they exist. This was a statement to Parliament that should have been perhaps not a triumphant one, but at least one reporting on the success of the NATO operation as Parliament resumes here back in the UK today. But these allegations are growing. Belhaj says he was tortured, that British intelligence officers were among the first to interview him, and that this is against a background of growing reports of the kind of intelligence exchange that was taking place between the Gaddafi regime and MI6, MI5, the spies here and elsewhere, British spies elsewhere in the world. And they say that at the time that was the prevailing political ethos. There was a rapprochement taking place with Tripoli, and they were following orders, although they deny the torture or any sense that there was rendition taking place to undergo torture. But we can hear now what David Cameron had to say about these allegations.
It was because of accusations of potential complicity by the British security services in the mistreatment of detainees overseas, including rendition, that I took steps in July last year to try and sort this whole problem out. As the House will remember, we acted to bring to an end the large number of court cases being brought against the government by former inmates of Guantanamo. We've issued new guidance to security and intelligence services personnel on how to deal with detainees held by other countries. And we've asked the retired judge, Sir Peter Gibson, to examine issues around the detention and treatment of terrorist suspects overseas. And this inquiry has already said it will look at these latest accusations very carefully.
So, Tim, I suppose the fact that they can put it all out into an inquiry that's already set up is quite convenient, particularly because it takes the heat off, doesn't it?
It does, and I think that Mr Cameron can claim with some justification that all this took place under the previous administration, the Labour administration, mainly in 2003 when this new alignment with Gaddafi was taking place, and they were trying to convince him to give up his weapons, or at least nuclear weapons program, and that so it was perfectly justified, they say at that time, to share a certain amount of information with him. But the allegations go further than that, rendition that you heard Mr Cameron mention there, and torture as well, and that although perhaps British intelligence might not have actually carried out that torture, they knew it was likely to take place, or at least knew it was taking place. And this is something that the Gibson inquiry will be looking at very thoroughly now. It was set up mainly to look at cases from Guantanamo, but now its remit has had to be widened quite considerably.
OK, Tim Friend, thank you very much indeed for that update live there from the House of Commons.